Okay, so we're going to back up just a little bit, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I did when I first started breaking out with the pustules and was dealing with that, because it's quite uncomfortable. So if you look around and you're reading about PPP, one of the first things that you're going to read is a lot of people recommend soaking in Epsom salt. And so this has Epsom salt in it, and this is just a tiny jar that I filled some Epsom salt in. And Sam's carries like a huge bucket of it, and so I just load up on absolutely every product I'm going to use because I don't want to have to constantly be running back and buying it. So, and I got some Epsom salt. I first started doing the soaks, and I did recognize that they were helping. And what it seemed to do was speed up the process of how the pustules would develop. And you would kind of see it looking like a water blister at first. And so then after a certain amount of, 1, 2, 3 soaks, you would see the pustules start to turn yellow. And then, of course, the following step would be that they start to get a little dry ring around them, turn a little bit red, and then they start to dry and they turn brown. And after they turn brown, then you get like a little, I don't know if you can see these, but a little dry ring of where the pustule was. So after doing that for a while, I started to realize one way that I could speed this up without having to soak in Epsom salt baths constantly was I just made a paste. I would just dip my finger in some water, dip my finger in the salt, and put it on the pustules. One place that I got pustules really bad was right around my fingers and my cuticles. So if it was my palms, I would just get my little handy saran wrap and water, salt on my hands, and might have to add a little bit more salt if it's not sticking, and then I would wrap it up and leave it there. And on my fingers, I would always have to cut it down, and it was a little bit tricky, to wrap this up. But and it would sting a little bit. I would leave it sit there for a while, and then I got to reading as I went on and on and on with the pustules and psoriasis, and I seen somebody talk about Dead Sea salt from the Dead Sea. And so I ordered this off Amazon. When you order it, if you do, if you get on there to order it, make sure that you do check the lowest price. I think the first time I ordered this, I paid like 14 something a bag, and the next time I got on, I paid like $4 a bag. So I forgot to check that. So anyhow, this worked much better for me, much better. So when I was washing my hands at any given moment, like I said, I like to try to keep the pustules dry. So when I was washing my hands, I would take some of this and kind of wash my hands in the sea salt after I'd washed with soap, and then pat my hands dry. I never rubbed, I always patted. And then at night, if I didn't have anything going on, still had pustules, I would again make the paste and wrap it in saran wrap, let it set. Sometimes I'd let it set for 30-40 minutes till really, if it was hurting, stinging, till I just really couldn't stand it anymore. But it seemed like if I did that at night, by the next morning they would already starting to be drying out. So that was one thing for me that helped me to just keep the pustules dried out. And I didn't put sea salt all over my hands and wrap them up, and that would be very drying for your whole hand. I would just do the pustules. So that's one little tip for me that kept it dried out and helped speed up the process and keep as few pustules as possible on my hands and on my feet. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys soon.